This is the famous West Lake of Hangzhou, a man-made creation that has gone on to become a huge tourist attraction in this city of some 12 million people that somehow combines the modern here with the very traditional. A city that dates back 5,000 years and has this amazing skyline, including the Hangzhou Olympic Sports Center Gymnasium. It's a huge sports complex, as you can see, that hosted the recent 19th Asian Games. It's also the venue for the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals 2023. This is where the very best in the world of badminton gather at the end of a fantastic year of action. This is what they're fighting for, the World Tour Finals trophy. And of course, those multitude of points on offer, not to mention the record prize money that was announced recently. All of this very important in an Olympic qualification year, where these points will be even more valuable than usual. So, with this tournament split into a few different stages, right now we're in the middle of the group stage. That starts at 10 AM every day for 3 days. We're on day 2, then semi-finals on Saturday, followed by the finals on Sunday. Now, each group stage day is divided into 2 sessions. Session 2 starts at 5 PM today. 5 matches per session. And let's just tell you what we have in terms of the 2 sessions. Starting with the session that we're currently in now, in the women's doubles, we've got Baek and Lee So-hee. They did a great job beating compatriots Kim and Kong yesterday, and they're up against Jongkopan Kititharakul and Narinda Prajongjai of Thailand, who lost to Matsuyama and Shida yesterday. The world #1, An Se-young, what a huge upset when she lost to Kim Ga-eun yesterday in the opening match on court 1. And she has an opportunity to make amends against Gregoria Mariska Tunjung, who herself lost to Tai Tzu-ying. Into the 3rd match, Nami Matsuyama and Chiharu Shida, well, they beat the Thais, as I just mentioned earlier, Kititharakul and Prajongjai. They want to continue their winning ways. Kim and Kong will love to start off their campaign now with a win, get their first one under the belt, the Koreans. Tai Tzu-ying had a brilliant start against Tunjung yesterday, and she'll be playing Kim Ga-eun, who'll be so buoyant after that superb win over An Se-young. And the world champions, Kang Min-hyuk and Seo Seung-jae, they lost in a repeat of the World Championship final against Astrup and Rasmussen, so they'll be looking for their first win against Muhammad Shohibul Fikri and Bagas Maulana of Indonesia. They lost to Alfian and Ardianto yesterday. So looking at the session 2 fixtures, lots to look forward to. Alfian and Ardianto and Astrup and Rasmussen both had wins yesterday, so something has to give. We look forward to this tie between Denmark and Indonesia. Into the men's singles, Shi Yuqi had one of the headlines from yesterday, beating Victor Axelsen, and he takes on one of the greats at the moment, Anthony Sinisuka Ginting of Indonesia. And then into the mixed doubles, Yuta Watanabe and Arisa Higashino of Japan take on Malaysia's Chen Tangchie and To Yi-wei. In mixed doubles, Seo Seung-jae, as he always has to do each day, play twice in both doubles and mixed doubles. They will take on, with Che Yu-jung, take on Hong Kong, China's Tang Chunman and Seo Ying-sweat. And we'll end the day with men's singles. Jonathan Christie of Indonesia takes on Denmark's Anders Antonsen. Here are our players from the first match on court 1, getting ready to come in. Desperate to make amends for yesterday, where they were quite convincingly beaten, the Thais. Match took just 43 minutes. Up against a resurgent Baek and Lee So-hee. So there is the table at the moment from Group B. And you can see Matsuyama and Shida are ahead of Baek Hana and Lee So-hee. One lost games as well, straight games. All this counts. So our first match of the day, Baek Hana and Lee So-hee take on Jongkolpan Kititharakul and Rawinda Prajongjai. Remember, it's the top two from each group that qualify for these semi-finals. So really, after one loss, you can't afford much more than that. Really need to get a win under your belt. So this is desperate times, really, in a way, for Kititharakul and Prajongjai. The Thais are out next, knowing they've got a big mission ahead today. Well, let's have a look at their head-to-head. And it is in favour of Baek Hana and Lee So-hee. They've won both meetings, most recently in the backyard of Kititharakul and Prajongjai, the Thailand Masters. That was quite some time ago, though, in February. Let's find out a little bit more about these players. Well, Baek Hana is 23 years of age, from Gimcheon. Second in the world at the moment. That's their highest ever ranking. And between these two, well, they've won the Asian Games silver medal recently, right here in Hangzhou. So it brings some good memories, I suppose, you could say. Former world junior champion as well, Baek Hana. Lee So-hee is 29. Yeah, they actually beat Chen Ching-chen and Jia Yifan in the bronze medal match, which is no mean feat, I can tell you. That is very impressive. They've won 7 titles together. More than that, just a short while. We talk about Jongkolpan Kititharakul, who is now 30, 170 centimeters tall, from the north of Thailand, Chiang Mai. Currently 10th in the world. They have been as high as 5th. That was about a year ago, actually. Asian Championships this year, they were bronze medalists. And have won together as a pairing, as we see Rawinda Prajongjai is also 30, from the capital, Bangkok. Ladies and gentlemen, they've won 3 titles together. All Your Masters was the last time they actually won a title, but this year they finished runner-up at the Arctic Open and at the French Open. So overall, when you look at the record of these pairs, Baek Hana and Lee So-hee had a very good year in terms of what they achieved. Super 1000 tournaments, they won 3 tournaments. One of them is Super 1000 Indonesia Open, the Super 500 Malaysia Masters, and the Super 300 German Open. They were to finalists in 4 tournaments. The All England, the China Open, those are Super 1000s, the Singapore Open, a 750, and the Thailand Masters, a 300. And they finished in the semi-final stages. There's KOR of Chinese Taipei as our umpire. Super 500, the Thailand Open, and the Swiss Open and Spain Masters, Super 300s. The umpire is Su Xiaofeng of China. Just going back to Lee So-hee and Baek Na in terms of what they have achieved.
Ladies and gentlemen,
There's still a very new pairing.
Baek Na and Lee So-hee, Korea.
They have won 3 tournaments.
And
Only got together towards the end of last year. German Open, Malaysia Masters, and Indonesia Open. The year started very well for them. Runner-up at the China Open, the Singapore Open, and the All England, as well as the Thailand Masters. It would appear that the Koreans now are the overwhelming favourites here, but let's see. So we've seen a few upsets already, haven't we? Well, Lee So-hee going hard at it. Had a quick look at her racket there, and I think I've already broken the string. It sounded a bit weird, that. It's a very slight drift here, sideways drift. And even lengthways, it's not huge amounts, so it did seem quite a number of players and pairs prefer this nearer end where the ties are. That's well out, isn't it?
3, 2, 1.
Lots of drives here.
4, 3.
Already a very long rally, this one. Shot there from Baek. Lee So-hee, that's lovely. Around the head. Missed that beautifully. They're on the offensive.
5, 3.
Took that well. Already the longest rally.
6-3.
Oh, this is following the pattern of the previous one. That could have been out.
4-6.
This is what Lee So's been doing very well. She gets onto those smashes. They're finding it hard, but it's taking a while to get there. Well, we've only had 5 points on the board, 4 minutes on the clock. Now that is the longest rally, 93 shots. Really getting an indication of what it's going to be like.
1. Return to your chair. Sorry, your shot.
The ties are already getting sort of heavily scrutinized by the umpire about time management. Looking for that bit of space. They've done well.
7-5.
Oh, good working on the drives there. It's just going to be another monster rally. It's already hard work. 75 shots. We've had 3 huge rallies, I think, in a row now. Prajongjai was just clutching her bat. They're getting pushed here to move faster. The points are coming now, all in favour of Baek and Lee. This is starting to run away from the ties already. We know that China, Japan and Korea dominate the list of qualifiers here for the World Tour finals. The women's doubles, 2 pairs each. Indonesia and Thailand have got 1 spot. And Lee So-hee have been very impressive this year, along with Chung Ching-chen and Jae Fan.
2-8.
Accumulated plenty of points. Yeah, it's a real struggle at the moment for the ties.
9-2.
No surprise, perhaps, against a pair, Baek and Lee, who had such a great year, making at least the quarterfinals in 13 of the 14 events they contested. And of those, they made a final in every other event they were in. 7 finals, though I think the criticism would be they only managed to convert 2 of those.
9-6. Play.
Already 10-2. This was the end I was saying that pairs and players preferred, where the ties are, so can put that one to bed. They're adjusted well here, the Koreans. That's out. Nothing is going right for the ties at the moment.
11-2, interval.
And interval probably coming at a good time for them to have to regroup and do something different here. They're all over the shop. They need to sort themselves out quickly.
10-7.
ขึ้นคอร์ดไปข้างหลังหมดแรงหมดทุกลูกนอกจากแบบข้างหน้าไม่ว่างไม่ถึงว่าจังหวะที่หนูที่เขาตกปุ๊บหนูดีดก่อนได้ดีดเปลี่ยนได้โอเคถูกต้องแล้วแต่ในจังหวะที่แบบไม่งัวรับแล้วมันกำลังจะเตรียมลากบล็อกหน้าได้อย่าไปแรงเดียวบล็อกหน้าได้เปลี่ยนจังหวะต้องอดทนนะมันไม่เข้า 저는 무리하게 빠지더라고요.
Well, let's see if that talking to from the coach has had any impact on the ties, who haven't won this year in a tournament, but they, as I mentioned, did come good towards the end of the year, second half for sure. One is up at the French Open and the Arctic Open. Canada Open before that, the semi-finals. Indonesia Masters earlier in the year, semi-finals as well.
So it's over.
Lisa, he just snatching at that one. Lisa He, very aggressive on those smashes again, which is what she was doing in the first half of the game. Well, we are entering that territory of what we saw a little earlier, those big rallies. Lovely shot here from Kititharakul. Not so much there.
Service over. 2-3.
Well, what they're trying to do is stem the tide, but that was 73 shots. We're having some really long rallies here. Which I think all of them, all the long rallies have gone the way of Baek and Lee. They'd be quite happy to soak it up, play it out. And I think maybe the ties might feel they need to kill this off earlier. They need to do something
12-9.
to stem that tide, as I said, to try and quicken the pace. Try to take it to the Koreans. The Koreans are quite happy just to let this play out. There you go. Killed off quickly by Prajongjai.
5-2. Service ball. 10-12.
It's been a slight improvement for the ties, given that it's 3-1 now since the interval in their favour.
Service over. 35.
That was, by the way, the first time that they'd managed consecutive points in this game. It's a huge lead, though. Long discussion between the ties here. Umpires just trying to hurry that along again.
Service over. 6.
Well, remember, the
30.
lead was as high as 9 points. It's down to 7, but it's still big lead from Baek and Lee. Again at the head-to-head between these two pairs. This is certainly better for the ties.
7-30.
And both matches were won in straights by Baek and Lee. One of them was a French Open last year in the round of 16. 21-16, 21-16. This year, 21-13, 21-17 in the Thailand Masters. As I said, February, so almost a year ago now. Nicely done there from Baek. Much better stepping in there, Kititharakul. Looking to be a little bit more aggressive, more proactive. 6-2 since the interval. A massive improvement. Still some distance away, though. Well, we said they had to do something, didn't they? During that interval, they certainly have. Can they sustain it? What will the Koreans do? They know they need to turn it around again.
Service over. 40.
So the problem for Kititharakul Prajongjai is that while they're clawing back points, because the margin was so huge that even if the Koreans, say, lose 2 or 3 points and then pull one back, and that pattern continues, it's just not enough in there for Kititharakul. That's kind of what's happening at the moment. Even after that great run that I mentioned to you, it's still a 6-point margin at the moment.
Last time.
And the umpire, that's at least 5 warnings / urgings, shall we say. I wonder how long before there's more to come.
15.
More action.
8.
Baek finishes that one off.
Service ball. 12-15.
Oh, that's one Lee should be putting away. She was on the ascendancy here.
9-15.
In full control of that rally. There. Actually, it was a Kititharakul sort of a half-hearted shot that somehow made its way over. Not sure Lee So-hee quite expected that. And this is not going to do for the Thais. They need to put on a sustained run.
16.
The odd point here and there, a couple of points, maybe 3 even, still not enough.
13, 15.
Their best run so far has only been 3. As I said, with such a big deficit, you need more than that. Oh, that should be finished off easily. It is. Trying to keep themselves on a hunt still. Prajongjai kills that one off.
10, 16.
Pounced on quickly by Kititharakul. So this is sort of the area that they now need to be in. 5 points. It's still beyond the striking distance, which be looking at about 2 to 3 points, maximum 4. The Koreans want to try and be as clinical as possible. Nicely spotted there by Lee So-hee. Saw that big gap
17,
just in front of that net.
11.
Yeah, lots to exploit. Nicely done. Didn't do so well on the service return there, Lee So-hee.
12, 17. Service ball, 15, 16.
It's gone long.
Service over, 18, 12.
Well, if you look back since the interval, it's been it's 10-7 now to the Thais. So it's just not enough, is it, when you are down by 9 points? So this is all well and good, and this is Prajongjai. She did this earlier as well, a couple of minutes ago.
Service over,
But as I said,
13,
you need
18.
more than even 3 points in a row now. Well, you do that, and that puts the pressure on the Koreans. That would bring it up to 16-18. It's certainly a far more respectable scoreline than what it was earlier. Looked like it might have gone out. No, the idea perhaps was right. Bit of a percentage shot. No, I don't think they've breached the 4-point barrier in a while. This is the closest they've got, though. The damage was done early on with that 8-point run.
Right.
Yeah, this is as close as it's got for a long, long time. Now, is that just the pressure just starting to tell, perhaps, on the Koreans? That will help with any nerves, perhaps.
Service over. 90-40. That's lead. We're waiting for her.
That was there to be put away, wasn't it? By Baek.
20. Game point. 40.
And now 6 game points for the Koreans. Again, these are a
Service
number of
over.
unforced errors from
15.
both pairs.
20. Back. Game.
Snatching at that one, Prajongjai. And what that means is the Koreans have taken the first game. They were really leading from the front very early on and raced to an 11-2 lead at the interval. A decent fight back from the Thais afterwards. In fact, they won that second half, but it wasn't enough. 13 points to 8 it was in the second. And it's 21-15 to the Koreans at the end of the first game.
Second game.
By the way, if you thought some of these rallies were long
Play.
here on court 2, well, we've just literally finished a rally next door on court 1 at 150 shots. Some of those double what we're having here.
17-18.
That is tough when you eventually lose one of those. Now, let's see what happens here with the Thais. They're on to a different end, maybe different fortunes. Just died on Kititharakul, didn't it? Just skimmed over the net. I don't think she quite expected that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not really going right at the moment for the Thai pair. It's going to be out. Great start here for Baek and Lee. Well, Kititharakul and Prajongjai, as I said earlier, not a great year overall. I think they played 50 matches, won 30, lost 20. It's a bit more like it. Well, you look at 2023. 11 first or second round exits for the Thai pair. Only 7 tournaments or more did they get to the quarterfinals and above, or better. You contrast that, as I said, Baek and Lee So-hee have had a very decent year overall. As a pairing, only got together just over a year ago.
Service over. 4-2.
"47 wins, 11 defeats." As I said, they started the year with a bit of a bang. Way too long there. Apart from the Indonesia Masters, where they only got to the second round, they then started really making inroads to tournaments. 3 finals in the row: the Thailand Masters, the German Open, the All England. Got to the semis of the Swiss and the Spain Masters, the final of the Malaysia Masters, semis of the Thailand Open, the final of the Singapore Open and the Indonesia Open.
Service over. 5.
This was until mid-July, and then it started to go a little wrong for a few tournaments. Korea Open, Japan Open was quarterfinals. That's not bad at all. Second round of the World Champs, that was surprising. Losing to Apriani Rahayu and Siti Ramadanti.
play.
Oh, that is right in the very corner. I'm not sure whether she meant to have it that tight, but she will gladly take that, I'm sure, Baek. It's a right shot to play.
Bad serve.
That's in, isn't it? Yep.
Service
So I said
over.
that's just a slight
4,
drift going from right
6.
to left. That helped. They're well inside.
2 love.
Well, this is much closer than the previous game.
Service over. 1, 2.
Kititharakul's played that well. Only so much
Service over.
that you can fend off.
7, 4. Check.
Yeah, they're just hanging in there, as I said, within that striking distance.
7. Thank you. Wait. Wait. Try.
2 points. This is much better from the ties. Going for the flick serve. Oh, this time a long rally does not end in favour
6, 7.
of Baek and Lee. There's only 1 point in it now. Did so well to reach out for that one. Kititharakul. .69 shots. Only a point in it.
Service over. 8, 6. 3, 1, play.
So just as it was looking like it might get a little dicey for Baek and Lee, they've just pushed on a little. They were just a point behind Kititharakul and Prajongjai. It's now 3. Prajongjai happy with that.
Service
So is the
over.
coach.
7, 9. Back.
He's want to kill off again there for Prajongjai, and it's only a point in it
8,
again.
9, 2, 4.
Only the 4th time they've come up against tie opposition. The Koreans.
Nine, all.
9-all. This is perfect as far as Kititharakul and Prajongjai would have wanted. They haven't yet surged beyond the Koreans.
Service hold. 5, 2.
Notice to be longer again, the rallies.
Service over. 10, 9.
Yeah, Baek and Lee have so far not relinquished the lead, not given them to the other side.
Service hold. 3, 6.
Raining down those shots on the Koreans.
Service over. 10, all.
Well, maybe the ends are suiting them better. Just taking the time again.
8, 3. Service over. 11, 10. Interval.
Baek and Lee have taken that first game just by the slender point. They've already won the first by 2.
대각선에서 가려고 그걸 따먹으려고. 기본적으로 치는 건 어차피 쟤네들 강한 거만 치는 애들이야. 이 높이에 있어야 돼. 그 다음에 밑으로 떨어질 때 엄도 아니면 붙인단 말이야. 앞사람은 그걸 봐야지. 어? 뒷사람은 그걸 칠 생각하고 온다.
Top 2, 20 seconds. Top 2, 20 seconds. Service over. 4-8.
Very tightly poised second game here. Just why Baek and Lee just want to create that bit of cushion for themselves.
Service over. 11-12. Service over. 30.
Now waiting for this to be taken. It's slowed down quite considerably, isn't it? Again, umpire's not really cracking down just yet. This is better from Baek and Lee.
40.
You have a 2-all record against Indonesian pairs, sorry, of the Thai pairs overall. 1 win, 2, 1-2 and lost 2. As for the Thais, Koreans trying to keep up the pressure.
Foot. 15.
They
11.
are really looking quite good again. Look at the sequence of points. You look at Prajongjai and Kititharakul's record against Koreans, but it is not good, I can tell you. Only won 14 out of 53 matches against Korean pairs. 39 losses. Though I have to say, what is encouraging is that they won 5 in a row and then lost their 6th, the last 6 matches. So it's a big improvement in recent times, anyway. Against, sorry, that was, let me just correct myself.
Service over. 16. 12.
Against Koreans, sorry, the record's even worse than what I told you. It's 8 wins out of 44. They won their last one. That was against Jong Na-eung and Kim Hai-jeong. In fact, they've won 2 of their last 3. But before that, they lost 13 in a row, dating back to the Thailand Open at the start of 2021.
17. 11-7.
Now 5 points, the gap here. Again, Kititharakul Prajongjai cannot allow too much more of a gap. Oh, that's tough. Under pressure here, the ties. Great shot. Again, lovely from Lee So-hee. Soft hands.
80, 1 third.
Did well to get there. There's real defensive maneuvers right now from the ties. Oh, the Koreans were all over that and couldn't finish it off.
Service over. 30, 80, play.
Couple of points in a row. They haven't done that in a while as well, the ties.
40, 80. Correction. 8, 11. Back.
Remember, it was all quite tight until 10-all. And then all of a sudden, it was a great surge from Baek and Lee. It tightened up a little bit in the last game as well, but they're just 2 points away from wrapping this up now.
Service over. 90, 40.
And we have 6 match points here.
10 point. 40.
One saved.
Service over. 15, 20.
Trying to finish this off. The ties hanging in again. Oh, that could have gone out. I think that was out. Doesn't matter. Baek and Lee have won. And with that, we'll have almost certainly secured a place in the semi-finals. 2 wins out of 2. Brilliant from the Koreans. And the ties, real danger of being eliminated. Well, they've dominated this, haven't they?
21.
Same scoreline in both games. The first one, they really had a massive lead, which the ties did well to chip away at. Since the interval here, it's been pretty much the Koreans. won 9 of the last 13 points. There's been some really long rallies in here, but they've come out on top. And the good news is they get the rest of the day to recover. So another good win for Baek Han-an, Lee So-hee. The Koreans beat the Thai pair of Jongkopan Kititharakul and Rawinda Prajongjai. 21-15, 21-15. It all happened in 53 minutes. Up next, it's women's singles. An Soo-young, the world #1, takes on Indonesia's Gregoria Mariska Tunjung.